The focus of my presentation will be laws that restrict free practice of one's faith in South and Southeast Asia. The first set of laws that I would like to look at are the anti-conversion laws. Sadly, they are made popular by their frequent misuse in India. These laws are frequently used to target religious minorities. The provisions of the laws are vague and often penalize the free profession and practice of one's faith. They require permission to be sought from the government before your religious conversion is deemed to be valid. To give you a recent example, in September 2022, a group of 5 women were arrested as they celebrated a birthday party. These women had been invited to one person's home. The cake, the birthday celebrations, the presents that were lying out there were all seen as inducement, which is prohibited under the Act. The women were then sent by a mob to the local police station where they were arrested. They spent 5 weeks in prison. Sadly, their case is still ongoing, all because of a birthday party. This year alone, in 2023 alone, over 420 people were similarly arrested in over 180 cases under the anti-conversion laws in India. Hundreds of Christians have been arrested and subjected to months of illegal detention and harassment, often at the hands of the police and the local governments, for running hospitals, tuition centers, distributing food to the poor, handing out blankets, a cup of tea, notebooks and pencils, all have been seen as inducement. In a recent judgment, the court called out the police for failing to uphold fundamental rights. The court noted that the mere distribution of Bibles does not constitute an attempt to convert. The registering of a complaint at the behest of a third party, which is often under these acts, is not valid as per the law. However, in spite of these observations, the anti-conversion laws continue to proliferate not only in the subcontinent of India, but also in the region. Pastor Keshav, who was due to join us on this panel, has been convicted and sentenced to 1 year imprisonment for sharing his faith in Nepal. There is no accusation that he used physical force, but his only fault was that he distributed tracts or Christian literature and prayed for those who were ill at their request. Article 26(1) of the Constitution of Nepal clearly states that each person shall be free to profess, practice, and preserve his or her religion according to their faith. But what Article 1 or Clause 1 of Article 26 gives, a later clause takes away. Article 26 of the Constitution states that no person shall act or make others act in a manner which is contrary to public health, decency, and morality, or behave or act or make others to act in so as to disturb public law and order, or to convert a person of one religion to another religion, or disturb the religion of other people. Under this vague and very open-ended clause of the Constitution, several people continue to be targeted. This has also been brought into their penal code. There is another case pending before the Supreme Court of Nepal, where 2 Christians have appealed their conviction under the penal code for forcible conversion, for merely hosting, with due permission of their families, several destitute children in a shelter home where they were provided education and nourishment. The only reason for their conviction is their religious beliefs, were the religious beliefs of those running the shelter home. Sadly, similar provisions also exist in Bhutan and in Myanmar. I would also like to highlight an issue that has been raised by Joseph about identity cards. These are administrative laws or policies that restrict how people can convert. I point to Malaysia, where religious freedom is protected in the Constitution, for instance. However, communities must ensure that their identity cards align with their faith. However, administrative processes are slow and tedious. So while change is possible, the administrative process prevents it. To give you an example from Malaysia, a father converted to Islam when the applicant with a child, in this particular case, was a minor. While receiving the identity card, the religious status from Christianity had been changed to Islam, even though the child himself had not taken any or recited the kalma or accepted the Islamic faith. the mother was opposed to the conversion. This is often done in matrimonial disputes so as to gain custody of the children. However, in spite of all of this, this person has now spent 11 years trying to get this remedied in Malaysia. They are sadly at the point of giving up. Administrative processes being used to restrict one's conversion. We've heard about the blasphemy provisions, and I will not go into that, but it is frightening to note that according to the Pew Research Center, 79 countries out of the 198 studied, 40% had blasphemy laws. These are being included even in many Western nations. We are looking at a bill before Ireland at the moment where material on your phone, things that you could possibly distribute, could be seen as problematic. Jokes that have not yet been shared, they may be inappropriate, but they have not yet been shared, could lead to imprisonment. I will end now. I know we are short on time, but looking forward to questions subsequently.